Hey everyone, want to give you guys a tutorial of this software that we're going to start integrating with our live mixes. We do have Soundation.com and we have an account there, but just in case you would rather use an iOS device or an Android device, you can continue to use Soundation. But if you'd rather use a different device, then this app is going to be for you. It's called N-Track. That's what the icon looks like. You can get it from Google Play or you can get it from the App Store. On the iOS device, I believe the price is $7.99, and there are different unlocks if you wanted to buy extra little features on it for a couple dollars here and there. Or if you would like to buy it also on the Google Play, you can get it for, I believe, $6.99. So I'm going to be showing you how to use it on the Apple iPad 2 here, or Retina display. So I open up the app. It shows me, I'm going to walk you through this is called an arrange window. This is where you would arrange the audio files that we're going to be inserting here. And as you hit play, you're going to see this little bar scroll, and that's going to scroll over our audio files. We see it. So here you have on the bottom left, you have your record button, then you have your play button, you have your rewind button, your loop button, and then right here you have LED that controls either your time, it shows you your time, or it shows you where you are on your beats and your bars. So also this button kind of shows you how to get to their main web page. If you wanted the software for your PC or Mac, they sell it too. And not only do they sell it for your Mac or PC, but the files for your portable device are uploadable to your computer workspace. So if you wanted to go back and forth. This little keyboard here, this is a $3.99 upgrade from your $8 price if you wanted to buy it. And what it does is it allows you to have a keyboard. You can add sustain. If you wanted to change the tone, here are some of the different tones. Actually, there's quite a fairly extensive library, and all of these tones you can insert and play. Let's do here's a banjo. Does not sound like a banjo. Let's do here's an acoustic nylon. And you can also change. Anyway, so that's that. Here's a metronome that you can, if you wanted to play or if you're recording, and here's a metronome at you could turn it on, turn it off. You can tap in your metronome. You could change your time signatures, 3/4, 4/4, 2/4, 6/8. You can adjust the volume of the metronome with the mix over here. So if you want to turn down the metronome with conjunction to what's going on here, you can. Then if you wanted to add an audio track is going to go up here. They all look the same, but one can be an audio track, one could be a MIDI track, and one could be an instrument. An audio track is something that you would record, or you would record like a vocal, like a guitar, a real piano. But a MIDI track is something that you would import like from a MIDI device, like a keyboard or a synthesizer or something like that, drum machine. Or you can add an instrument. An instrument works in conjunction with the keyboard upgrade that I mentioned to you earlier. So if you wanted to go back, this is an undo button. The back forward is a redo button. The gear controls your the settings and your control mode, sampling rate. I looked at all these things, and I think the bit rate was set to 24, and to me that's for what we're doing, I don't need it that high because it just takes up more hard drive space. Everything else was set pretty well. I didn't have to change anything. And I close it. The question mark just is for helps and hints, and it kind of shows you some general stuff around. This tool here, this controls whether or not you scroll back and forth on your file, whether you want to select something, whether you want to move a file, or if you want to draw in animation. So let's say if I wanted to move back and forth, I would select this top button, and then I can go back and forth on my timeline and look at an audio file. If I select the pencil here, then I can select a certain amount in a song. So I could select that, and I can push and hold a file, and then I can copy that particular selection if I wanted to loop it. Or if I select this up and down, left and right arrow button, it would let me take an audio file, like I think this is an audio file, and I can move it back and forth in different places. If I select this bottom button, this is called automation, and you'll see these lines come up, and basically I can push in points, and I can draw in if I wanted a part to go high in volume, and then low in volume, and then up, up and down in volume. It would go from loud to quiet, loud, and consistent. But if I don't really want that, so I push that button, it goes away. On the right side here, you have a little fader button. You push that, and you have a nice long fader that comes up, and it controls this fader will control your volume over here, and your pan right here will also control your pan over here, and vice versa. This is your equalizer. I can draw in a 3-point EQ. I can get a nice little scoop. There you go. I can solo the channel. I can mute the channel. Or this is a MIDI file, but if I went to an audio track, I can add an effect. And if you wanted to add an effect, which I do recommend you buy that plugin, it's $1.99 to add effects, and it comes with reverb, chorus, compressor, echo, tremolo, pitch shift, a tube amplifier, or a phaser. And the thing that's probably going to be most beneficial, since you don't have a preamp, would be a compressor. And a compressor will take your audio file, if it's a quiet audio file, and it'll boost the signal. So that way you can have more volume, and that way it boosts the sound digitally, so that way you can have more control with your fader, your volume. So that's kind of navigating around the app. Now I'm going to actually import some audio from one of our Dropbox files. So I'm going to close this, and now I want to import some audio. These audio files right here are all the files that are on my computer currently, and what I want to do is I'd like to show you guys how to mix a song. So what I'm going to do in order to do that, I'm going to go to Dropbox, and I will provide you with our Dropbox account. That way you can get our files. Here we go to Live Mix Files, and here are the 2 last Sunday dates. We started doing this 2 weeks ago. So I'd select the most recent Sunday. Here are 3 of the 4 songs that we did. The first one we missed the starting point, so I did not include it. So here's the last song we did, and here are all of the individual files of the service. The bass track for that particular song, Who You Are, the guitar track for that song, the overheads, which are the condenser mics over the drums, that's the kick mic, snare mic, our 3 tom mics, Yamaha, our Kurzweil keyboard, and then our vocal mics. And so if you wanted to get a bass track, you can select the bass track, and it's going to download this 44 meg file of the bass track which is not, it's not a compressed file, which means it takes more space than what it needs. But what I would recommend you doing is download the files, make a mix of what you like, and then you're going to export it as an MP3 or a smaller version of the file. So there is that right there. And what I did, I just put my fingers and make it bigger. And you start to see, okay, here's some action right here with that audio file. It's not very loud, but we still want to hear it, so I'll push play here. Okay, it's pretty quiet. So now it's selected, I'll bring it up. It's really quiet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some compression. And then I'll boost the gain here. Oops, wrong button. There we go. A lot louder. It gives me more playroom. That's the nice thing about having that plugin. Well, let's say that I don't want to just have bass. I want to hear some guitar. So what I can do, I'll push my little button again and import some more audio. Dropbox. Now I have found I can, if I wanted to, I can import 3 files at a time. So I'm going to do acoustic, guitar 2, and let's say overhead. Well, let's see if we can do 2 overheads. And then what it does is it's downloading the files, and numbers are kind of going crazy because it thinks it's doing multiples at once, and it is. It just only has 1 percentage bar to count the 4 different files that are being downloaded right now. I am downloading 44 meg times 4, and plus the one I already did, so 44 meg times 5. That does take up hard drive space. That will take up hard drive space on your device, and you do want to be aware of that. And you especially do not want to download this on your phone if you have limited data. If you're going to download this on your phone, you will want to be on a Wi-Fi signal. I do not want people spending hundreds of dollars on overages. So, all right, it's almost done. And like I said, I could do all of these, but I'll just do a few at a time. And so there's the acoustic track. Let's see what else we got here. Should have a couple more coming in. There's the other one. So we have a total of 2. What are we missing? There's the other one. It's just taking some time to load, and there's the final one. Now you can see this file is huge, and these other ones aren't very big. That's because this one was just recorded louder. Doesn't mean it was louder played live. It just means the input to the computer was louder. So I can select here, and I can hit play. So if I wanted to solo the drums, I could select a drum file and hit solo. I can select and mute the drums. Okay. All right. Now let's say I wanted to group together the 2 guitars, or you could group multiple things, but let's say I just wanted to group the first 2 guitars, and I wanted to leave the bass and drums by themselves. What I can do, I can select right here the bass, or this is acoustic, sorry. Oh, no, that is bass. Let me select the acoustic. Okay, and that collapses the window. And what I'm going to do is I pressed and held it. Now I'm going to hit group parts. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit where it says speaker LR, and it's going to ask me to add a group channel. And what I want to do is I want to add, I'll do a group channel, so that's group 1, and then I'm going to add the other guitar track I have to group 1. So now these two tracks are going to group 1. So that way I can select group 1 and I can bring them down together. So now I'm controlling both two with one fader. This is really helpful when you have like a ton of drum tracks or a ton of guitars or a ton of vocals. I recommend getting a mix of the vocals and then grouping them together. That way you have one fader here controlling all the vocals, or anyway, just a preference. So let's say you get a mix that you like and you want to share it. You go down here to the settings, you could save it. It's going to ask you what do you want to name it, so I'll name it My Mix, and then you can save it as a compressed file, which is a good idea, and it's going to export your compressed file. And from then on you can send it to yourself. Oh, almost full. Yep, that's because I've been doing so much recording. So it's going to do its thing, and then I can ship it to whoever I wanted to. Like I said, I recommend you do one of these, make one, and then however you need it, practice it for as much as you want, and then whenever you need to get rid of it, go ahead and delete it off your device. That way you can keep your space nice and free. And so every week I recommend going through and making a mix of the songs. That way you can have your own little library of your mix, how you would need to practice to it. Maybe you would like to make a mix that it's just your part and maybe a little bit of drums and a little bit of bass, or maybe you just want the keyboards and vocals. Maybe you want only your voice and the instruments, or maybe you want nothing else but everyone else's voice. You know, so just make however you would like to have it, and save it. Put it on your computer. So if I was to do a share, I could send the song by email. It compresses it and it lets me send it. So I hope you guys enjoy it, have some fun with it. You can't delete the Dropbox files, so don't worry about accidentally deleting something. And it's really hard to mess up your iPhone or iPad or Android phone or Android tablet. So just have fun with it, learn, and we're going to get better. So have a good day.